my name is Jeff, and I'm putting together this video so that you will know how to pull the internet research that I need. I'm very excited about having a good team, and hopefully this will be helpful. What we are doing at a high level, there are foreclosure proceedings that are going on, and what this is a bank will loan money to a person so that the person can buy a house. And then if the person's not able to pay it for whatever reason, the bank will initiate a foreclosure proceeding so that they can try and get their money back. And I want to understand some key pieces of information about this process. So what we're going to do is look through a bunch of individual documents that initiate these foreclosure proceedings, and I want 4 bits of data out of each of these. The first is the remaining mortgage, which is how much money does the person owe right now or today. And actually it's not right now, today. It's how much money does the person owe, and there's an as of date, which is what day do they owe it? What day was that amount computed? And that's an important thing. So was this as of a year ago they owed $80,000, or is it as of a month ago? And that's important information for us. The third bit of information that we're going to need for each of these cases is the original mortgage. So for example, maybe somebody borrowed money, maybe they borrowed $100,000, and that was the original mortgage, and then they made some payments and they were doing okay, and then they got into trouble and they were no longer able to make those payments. So the original mortgage was $100,000, and maybe they still owe $92,865.15 on that as of December 1st, 2010. So I hope that makes sense. Those are the first 3 pieces of information I need. And then the last one I need is the address of the house that they bought with that borrowed money. In the United States, there are a few key things that we need for every address. There's a street number and a street name. There's a city, state, and a zip code. A zip code is a 5-digit number at the end of the address, and it may be occasionally it's a 5-digit number and then a dash and then another 4 digits. So it's a 9-digit number sometimes. Sometimes it's just a 5-digit number. So I will need that information. So here is a list of all the links I will need, and we're going to go through one by one and pull these. And as we do this first time, I'm going to go super slow and just kind of show you show you how I get the data. So the first thing we do is copy this link. I went to cell B5 and I hit Control-C to copy it, and now I go to my web browser and I'm pasting it in. And this is going to take you to the Oklahoma State Courts Network. And if you look at this, if it loads correctly, there should be a box on this side of the screen and another box on this side of the screen. And then if you scroll down, there should be a list of motions that have happened. Occasionally, the website is down for maintenance, and if that happens, if it says that it's currently not available due to maintenance, go ahead and try, stop working and try back in another hour or 2 hours. And if it's still not up after you've tried several times, go ahead and send me an email and we'll figure out what to do. Okay, so you're here at the Oklahoma State Courts Network page, and the first thing you're going to do is scroll down until you find the petition. The petition will say a few things. It'll be a blue hyperlink, it'll say petition, and it'll say P right here. So when you see those 3 things, you know you found the petition, and it's typically the first hyperlink that you'll find, although not always. So click on that, and it will download a TIFF file to your computer. A TIFF file is a type of image file. It's not readable by a computer, so that's why I need human people to go and read these files for me. So I'm going to open it, and your computer probably has a TIFF viewer already. I basically selected people who were able to view a TIFF before, so theoretically you have a TIFF viewer. The TIFF viewer that I'm using here has a page thing at the bottom, so I can go, I'm on page 1 right now, but if I click here I go to page 2, page 3, and this is my TIFF viewer, and I need to pull information from this document. Now the first thing that will be in the petition is the actual petition itself, and it'll say in big letters petition right here like this one does. subsequently, if you go a few pages in, you'll start seeing attachments. And usually the first attachment is called the note or the mortgage. It may say something like this: adjustable rate note. It may say promissory note. It may just say note. It may say mortgage. It may say loan agreement. But that's the actual document that the person signed where they promised to pay money. So going to my spreadsheet here, I need a few things. I need the remaining mortgage and the as of date, the date that that remaining mortgage was computed. So the remaining mortgage, there's a few tips about this, and I've included this in the Word document that I've sent you, but it's always listed in the petition itself, which is this first couple of pages. It's never going to be listed in this attachment, the adjustable rate note. It should be in the petition. It's usually more than $5,000. If you see an amount like $600 or $700, that's not it. It's usually an odd number, so it'll be $768,000.15. It won't be an even number like 100,000 or 110,000. It'll usually have some pennies associated with it at the end. It's usually less than or equal to the amount of the original mortgage, and it's frequently on the second page of the petition, and it's sometimes item number 10, although not always. So what I'm going to do is scroll through, and I'm looking for a big number, and sure enough, if I zoom in here, you can see it on item number 10 on the second page. It says the sum of $90,898.87. And if you read the language around it, you can tell that's what this is. There are some key words that you can see that let you know this is the amount that the person owes to the bank or to the plaintiff. So it says, after allowing all just credits, there is due to the plaintiff, or it may say there is an amount owed to the plaintiff, or it may say this is the amount that the defendant is in default. It may say that the plaintiff prays for judgment in the amount of $90,889.87. But in this case, it uses the language due to the plaintiff. There may be some other language sometimes, just depending on what the lawyer wants to say. But those are all possibilities. So that's going to key you off that you're close. So I'm going to go type this in, and I'm going to do a split screen here so that I can see as I'm typing. So it's $90,898.87, and then the as of date, which is the date that that was computed. And sure enough, it'll typically be in the same sentence or the same paragraph. So the sum of $90,898, and if I keep reading, or as adjusted by the note and mortgage from the first day of June 2010. So it's June 1st, 2010. The next two pieces I need are the original mortgage and the address. Now sometimes these are listed in the petition, and you may be able to find that, but I think it's more consistent if you can go to the actual note or the mortgage. This is where the guy promised to pay a certain amount of money, and usually right there it'll say how much money he promised to pay and what the address of the house is that he promised to pay it on. So sure enough, if I look here, the original amount, it says $92,800, and there will be some language that's usually around that. It may say the borrower promises to pay. It may say that the principal amount is $92,800. There's some language that just lets you know that's how much money the guy borrowed. So I'm going to put $92,800 in my spreadsheet. And the address of the place where he borrowed the money for. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up here. As you can see here at the very top of the note, it typically says it right here at the top. Not always, but usually at the top it'll say the actual address. And in this case, it's 7012 Stony Creek Drive, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73132. There's a few things that we're looking for. The address should always have a zip code in it, and it'll either be a 5-digit or a 9-digit zip code. And the zip code will always start with 73 or 74. So if you see that, you know you're on the right track. And then also, it's just, you just maybe have to read some of the wording around it to know that this is the address that of the house that he wanted to buy. So 7012 Stony Creek City, Oklahoma. What was the zip code? 73132. 73132. And if you know the state abbreviations for, Oklahoma is OK, so you can just type OK as the state. And by the way, all these will be in the state of Oklahoma, so that's fine. So we've now done the first one. Let me tell you some notes too about the address that I think are important. It's probably listed near the top of the note. It's not the plat address, and I want to show you what a plat address is here. On the petition, and sometimes on the mortgage note itself, it'll say, hey, you borrowed money for this real estate situated in Oklahoma County, state of Oklahoma, to wit, and then it says, so this is one way of looking at the address, but it's not the address I need. It's Lot 4, Block 2, Woodland Addition to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma County, Oklahoma, according to recorded plat thereof. Well, that's not the one I need. When you see recorded plat or plat, that's not the right address. Although sometimes right after the platted address with Lot 4, Block 2, it'll have a lot number and a block number. Sometimes right after that, it'll have a real address with a zip code on it. So that's the one that I need, is the one with the zip code. Finally, too, I just want to make sure that you don't copy the address of the lawyer. So, for instance, here's the name of the lawyer who submitted this petition, and his address is 4200 Perimeter Center, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73112. So that's a real address, but that's not the address that I need. So I think that's all good. Finally, I just want to say, if you ever come across any information that you can't find, sometimes you won't be able to find the as of date. It'll just say the remaining mortgage, and it'll say due immediately. If you can't find something, just write not found in that blank where it is. So after you finish this first one, go through and do the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one, and just do them all the way through, and eventually we will have all the ones that we need. Probably what I'll do is have you just do a few so that you can get the feel for how to do it, and then based on if you're doing these accurately, I'll give you even more, but this is a guide that'll help you do this. Also, once you get going, in the beginning you'll be slower, but once you know what you're doing, it should probably take about a minute or a minute and a half to do each one of these, and that's my expectation. So once again, I'm really excited to have a good team, and I hope that we can work together and that this will all work out well. Thank you so much.